Om Namah Shivaya friends, welcome to Dots of Destiny. This video is about the conjunction of Mars, Saturn, Mercury, three planets together in Pisces, and especially in the sign of uttarabhadra. The reason is that Mercury enters into, as Mars has already entered into Pisces, but the conjunction, the tight conjunction of Saturn, Mars, Mercury in uttarabhadra is very important in this month of April, because as these three planets are getting conjunct in Uttar Bhadrapada, which is I will not say a nakshatra of delay, but obviously there is some knowledge that you're craving over here, or some information, some decisions, some pending things, because Saturn is the planet of all these things, pending karma. Now it can be at a spiritual 5D level or at a 3D level, your mundane life. It can be, because many people I am connecting to are quite on a spiritual journey also. So that's why I'm including that also in this in this talk. Now, as these three planets are getting conjunct in Uttar Bhadrapada, is quite a knowledgeable nakshatra. The knowledge, the depths of it, and it is not a very fast nakshatra, obviously, because it is Saturn's nakshatra. You have to deal with the karma. The relief is much better in Revati, because it is a Mercurian nakshatra. Revati is the last nakshatra, and some abandonment issues, some kind of a letting go is inevitable. That I will talk in my next video, as Saturn will just in 1 month, nearly 17th or 16th, mid-month of May, it will go into Revati. Now, this continuation of Uttar Bhadrapada and Revati is very unique, because in Uttar Bhadrapada, Saturn, you will see, it's a planet which makes you try many times before you let go. So here the conjunction will show this main theme, that this is a try that you are doing before going into leaving something definitely, when Saturn goes into Revati and Mars goes into Aries. Because some kind of a leaving is inevitable when such a big planet like Saturn goes into Revati, whether one likes it or one does not like it, because Mars is here to make a new beginning. Mars journey is very important from Aries onwards, and that's a good news for the Aries people and Scorpio people, or for the Cancer and Leo people. It's a yoga karak planet. Sagittarius also. So that's why these two things I will deal in my next video of Saturn and Revati, letting go and beginning with Mars in Aries. It is juxtaposed with each other. At this moment, April month, especially from 13th of April, 11th of April to 30th of April, is very important. Why? Because Mercury is joining this conjunction of Mars and Saturn. As if these two planets were not enough, Mercury debilitated is joining this conjunction in Pisces, and especially these three will meet in Uttar Bhadrapada. The tightest of conjunction will happen, I think, from 14th of April to 19th of April, and here that is some decision making is inevitable in the month of April. It is very, very certain. Now it can extrapolate to the mundane level also. The word you are seeing, it can escalate, and then later in the month of May it can go into some kind of a new turn and new beginning. And when Jupiter gets exalted, I feel it can come to some kind of a ceasefire or a talk, because whenever Saturn and Jupiter at Kendra, if you put now Saturn in Aries in the Pisces, as Saturn is Pisces, if Pisces is the Lagna, Jupiter is Kendra to Saturn. Whenever two planets are in Kendra, it will not help each other. It will be like a tug of war. That is presently happening. Once this Jupiter gets exalted and it is aspecting Pisces, it can definitely bring some mediation in the ongoing war, because Jupiter will gain much strength in exaltation, more strength, and it will be aspecting Saturn, its own sign where it is sitting. So I feel, from my point of view, what I understand is that June month onwards, especially from June to October, again November, December this year is not at all good. That I'll come to later in a video, because there is a lot of things that will be happening in Magha Nakshatra. But June to October 31st, there should be some bit of relief from the ongoing war or whatever we are seeing at this moment of time. Because some kind of a mediator, because Jupiter does that thing. It is a counselor, advisor, guru, and who is listened. That is the thing with exaltation. Anyway, today I'll talk about all the ascendants especially considering the fact that with the Mars and Saturn combination in Pisces, Mercury is putting as a catalyst. Understanding one thing, that Mercury is the planet which will always, it is a catalyst, right? And what is the role of a catalyst is to auger the thing, to push it forward, jet fuel forward. Now, something or the other Mercury will be doing in your horoscope, whichever lord it is, in this conjunction, and the Karaka Tattva also. Now, whether it's just a communication, you were not able to communicate, you do it. But understand another fact is that neither of these three planets are very suitable in Pisces. In my video, I'll try to bring about the better things that can happen with this conjunction, but you must understand Saturn is in not a very good position, though it is in Uttarabhadra own nakshatra. As you see, there is turmoil all over the world with employment. You can see it very clearly. So whenever Saturn is weak or not that, because it is Neecha Bhilashi, that Saturn cannot give great results. Next come Mars, and especially Saturn in watery areas like Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio is quite intense and not easy to handle. Water and Saturn does not go very well, rather it takes a person to a spiritual level well. Then comes Mars. Obviously, we know Mars gets debilitated in Cancer, and it is not very comfortable in Pisces. The monetary factor I'll come to later. But problem with Mars in Pisces is that, or in a watery sign, is that it loses its structured approach. Mars and Saturn should give a structured approach. Yes, there is friction. Yes, there is lot of back and forth movement. Believe me, I have a Mars Saturn in my horoscope. I know this conjunction is no easy. But having said that, please do not demean this conjunction, because I have seen with my own horoscope and many other horoscope, in the lowest of low conditions, when you feel like giving up all the things, still this conjunction will bring you up. So, if you have a Mars-Saturn conjunction or a Mars-Mercury conjunction, or these kind of very dichotomy planets, the planets are very different. Mars-Mercury is also very different. Mercury gets debilitated in Pisces. Here what happens, what is the debilitation of Mercury needs to be understood here. Mercury does not understand what kind of decision it will take, because Pisces is surrender. Mercury is the 6th house, this is the 12th house. Mercury gets exalted in Virgo, which is a very calculative sign. Pisces is all about bhakti and surrender. That's why Mercury gets confused over here. It is about facts. Jupiter is about great knowledge, greater knowledge. And so much so that Pisces is about the ultimate knowledge. So that is why this three planets feels very out of space over here. And one is Neecha Bhilashi, Saturn. Mars is quickening up. It is trying to give results, as wherever, that is the characteristics of Mars. Wherever it goes, it pushes the result. Because it wants to go to Aries now, its own home. And Aries feels very comfortable with Mars, more than Scorpio. Mercury also feels actually good in fiery elements, because Mercury is that crisp thing, comes from fire. Calculated things is different, and crispy Mercury is also different. So in fire and in earthy sign, Mercury works very well. In desire sign also it works very well. Watery sign Mercury is, you will see Mercury in Scorpio, people will have problems in their analytical abilities, or what they are thinking. The depth of it is so much that they are scared to speak about it. Even Pisces Mercury also. Sometimes they visit so much of depth because Mercury becomes jittery in that kind of a situation. It doesn't know how to bring forth those words. So here, this is a big conjunction that is happening with Sun getting exalted at this same point of time. Wherever your Aries is, you want a new beginning, or whenever you will see, I have seen this in my understanding, Sun Sankranti in the Makar Sankranti, from there onwards, Sun is not in a very great condition in Capricorn, in Aquarius and in Pisces. Then because Sun is very comfortable in Aries, exalted Sun, that is why this is taken as, Punjabi and Bengali New Year we do at this time, because Sun is very comfortable, the solar ingress in Aries. So Sun is over here brightening up one part, at least one section of your horoscope, and you have something to do in the near future. But the thing is that, because from here Sun's journey is very good, from Aries to Taurus to Gemini to Cancer and then to Leo. But then again Sun in Virgo becomes Neech Abhilashi. That is a pattern. But Sun is unable to move forward very much over here, because this stuckness in Pisces is, demeaning the brightness in Aries. Pisces is ending and Aries is the beginning. Now we are in the juncture of it. Something has to end in April. Now this ending process with Saturn in Pisces continues, not only this year, next year also. There will be a lot of time now Saturn will be spending in Pisces and in Revati. This May month, Saturn will go into Revati, and then to October, again it will come into uttarabhadra. So this is your something that you have been trying. The Mercury comes as a catalyst and gives you a directionless push. Mars, Mercury, Saturn, the three planets are not the type of Pisces planet. But there is a push, inevitable push, and you will feel it wherever your Pisces is. It can be like spending money or saving money also. Pisces is both, the 12th house. How much you can block the wastage of money, or how much you want to spend, both. So all these things sums up the very important month of April before we go into May, and where some endings and beginnings are inevitable with Mars in Aries and Saturn in Revati, the last nakshatra. May will be even interesting more. So let us see how each ascendant will go through with these three planets in Uttar Bhadrapada, especially in the month of April. Starting from 11th April I am taking. Why? Because nearly the Sun has reached the Gandanta and will go into Aries, and now we have Mercury entering Pisces with Mars and Saturn waiting for Mercury over there. So let's begin. Jump into the time step. For the Aries ascendant, this conjunction is happening in the 12th house with the Lagna Lord and the 10th Lord and the 3rd Lord Mercury. Now here you will see that definitely, because the 10th and 11th Lord Saturn is involved for a long time in the 11th house, you are trying to do certain things again and again. And this is the try that Mars will, because it is the Lagna Lord, it will give the push over here, which may have been stuck, or you may have been doing it for a long time but didn't reach that kind of a conclusion. So Mars will definitely put it on a full gear. But obviously, because Mercury is debilitated, and because effort Lord and Saturn, Mars, there will be certain frictions involved obviously in the process. But Mars will help it. It will try to make you do certain things which you had been trying from the time Saturn has entered into uttarabhadra, and this is a last try that Mars will do, because now Mars wants to goes to Aries. So this is the condition over here. It is not a bad transit, but what happens is that since Sun is on the Lagna, as this transit is gearing up total space, Sun is on the Lagna exalted. So your mood may be exuberant. I mean, if not exuberant, you feel, yes, I have a direction, but the things will not immediately go. As I was making this video, as I started, there are a lot of certain electrical and networking issues that is happening. So that is how Saturn and Mars behaves. That is the problem with this conjunction. And Mercury, because it's debilitated, the efforts you are now putting, though you do not have a great feeling about putting the efforts, again it may go for a waste. That is the problem with the debilitated Mercury in the 12th house. Otherwise, Mars will help you clear away certain things or push forward certain things that may have been stuck in your work area for a long time. Or you may go for a travel to foreign lands also, because these kind of conjunctions do aid certain these kind of travels. Expenses, when I see two malefics, either it can go to extreme. Mars and Saturn, they are natural malefics. They sometimes can give, you can squander wealth, or sometimes you can become very tight about your monetary things. So both can happen. All in all, it is not a bad transit actually, not too bad. Understand that now Mars will come on the Lagna. And for a short period of time, there will be Sun, Mars and Mercury together on the Lagna also. So make them, you cannot go full speed. That's not possible as of now in April. May month it can happen, but not immediately in April. But certain things need a last try in uttarabhadra with the knowledge that you have gained, especially for your monetary and work area. So finish that, and then Mars is ready to go into the first house. Not a very bad transit, I'll say. Look after your health. For the Taurus Lagna, this combination of Mars, Saturn and Mercury, your fifth and seventh lord with Saturn in the 11th house. See, 11th house, these planets are not bad. Due to a debilitated Mercury or the 7th lord in 11th, the gains can be a bit trimmed, but still 11th house is 11th house, and it does not treat most of the planets in a bad way. It is able to go with any kind of rough conditions also. That is what is the significance of 11th Upachya house. Not that it fulfills immediately a desire, but it gives gains, and that's why it is liked. That is why any text has given the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra said the 11th lord is a Trishadaya and not a good lord, because it enhances even the smallest of thing and makes our desire even more. But here some gains from partners or here another thing is that though the conjunction is a bit tough, but 5th and the 7th lord in the 11th house can give you some good news regarding your marriage things also, or even your investments also. But one has to be very careful, because the 5th lord going into the 11th but debilitated, you may take certain wrong decisions also. Be very careful with all the things that is happening at this point of time, though the transit cannot be bad, because it is a Upachya house. That is why it cannot be bad. There can be certain decisions about your progeny also. Those decisions may not be easy, or because Mercury is debilitated, at this point it can look great, but you have to glance into the future also. Glancing or take a sneak peek or understanding before jumping maybe into admission matters or anything regarding your progeny, if you're going through something like that. So lot of things are over here. It can be your relationship. Saturn gives a tug of war over there. Monetarily, you can gain even from your partner or from your investments or something like that. Your progeny can do good. It may need for a different kind of approach now, and you have to think it in, because Mercury's condition is not very appropriate over here. Not the usual Mercury. I am not criticizing a debilitated Mercury. Debilitated Mercury has its own imaginative power. Lot of things are there, but still it is not the usual intelligence that is working specially for you. So yes, you can take it a different turn in your love matters, in your progeny matters, in your investment matters, in your partnership matters. All these things can take a little bit of different turn than usually what you are dealing with. But nonetheless, this is not a bad transit. Mars though is not a very great planet for you now, because see, one thing about this transit one has to understand. At this point, when these three planets are meeting in Pisces, then Saturn will go into Revati Nakshatra in the month of May, which is your 10th and 9th Lord. Something needs to be given up, and Mars will go into your 12th house in Aries. So, you know, if any kind of decision making at this point of time is involved, then you have to be quite careful with it. Gains, if it is coming, you have to conserve it, because then Mars moves into Aries, you can go in for expenses also. That is why, if this transit is giving you good things, which it should in certain measures definitely, if not great measures, still it will and it should, then you must understand that the next transit that is coming, which I will bring in my next video, your Yogakarak planet Saturn going into Revati and Mars going into Aries, certain things will be taken away. Revati is that abandonment in whatever form it is, whether spiritually, whether you're group wise, because 11th house is networking also. So at this point of time, the whole of April month, if you are getting the gains, enjoy it, but do not forget the next month, because Venus also will be on the Lagna. Slowly but surely by the end of April, certain decisions will again be different. Saturn being in the 11th alone, Mars being in the 12th, and Lagna Lord in the first house. So this month you have to conserve. If you are gaining out of this, the attitude should be conservative, to look towards what lies beyond. That is how the approach should be. Otherwise, I do not take it as a bad transit over here. 11th house Mars Saturn is okay, not bad. It can have certain frictions definitely, but definitely not bad. Take care. Gemini ascendants, it is the 10th house where your Lagna Lord gets debilitated with Mars and the 6th Lord, which is the 6th Lord, and Saturn obviously the 9th and 8th Lord. Sudden changes. This is a last try of anything that you had been doing once Saturn has entered into Pisces from the last year. Maybe you were it's a rough dance, I'll say, that you had been going because of your 10th house matters, ups and downs. Some progress may be there. Saturn is not a bad planet for you. The 9th Lord, obviously, the trine Lord. But obviously Saturn, being Saturn in the 10th house, it hustles hard, it digs deep. Now here, Lagna Lord getting debilitated means Mercury's debilitation is very, very unique. Why it is so? Because the normal Mercury is very calculative and it is self-centered. That is how a prince behaves. Here Mercury, whoever has a Mercury debilitation, they are very creative and in their own world. And here you don't get help from anybody. Debilitation of a planet is also that. Here your Lagna Lord itself is debilitated, and also is the 6th Lord Mars. Combination is that you will be going into a competition where you are alone and you are a little bit grilled also in certain matters, and you have to come up triumph. Next, when Mercury goes into Aries with Mars, the gains will be more and profound. Over here, there are certain last time, try in uttarabhadra. Uttarabhadra is a very deep nakshatra of karma. Saturn, all nakshatras are. They show penned up karma, and pending karma should be again and again tried and neutralized. It should go to its ultimate. That is the aim of uttarabhadra or Pushya or Anuradha. Thankless jobs also. 101%, you do a job great, you're not even given credit for that. In the 10th house, Saturn, your Lagna Lord getting debilitated in Uttarabhadrapada. You do it for the good of others, for the higher picture. Here, there is no gains as such. It is a karma thing. Why Mercury gets debilitated? Mercury is a businessman. It looks into its own gains. When Mercury is debilitated, you cannot see only your gain. It is for a bigger view. Suppose you are at a mundane level, you are doing something, you know immediately this will not give me any result, but if I do this and I maintain a better terms and conditions, it can help me secure something in the future. Not immediate gains. Mercury debilitated, the Lagna Lord debilitated in the 10th house. Very important transit, Gemini. Very, very important. Here Saturn then will go into Revati from May month, and Aries, Mars will go into Aries. New beginnings and endings are waiting. I'll do a video on that. But over here in the month of April, it is about certain thankless jobs, certain changes, ending certain things, or the last try into certain things that you had been doing for a very long time. And the hindrance is that over here Mars is there. You do not like that, right? It is the 6th Lord. Mars is not a good planet for Gemini. We know that. It is the 6th Lord after all. Yes, 11th Lord, but yes, it is a Trishadaya Lord. Both it is having Upachya. Now it will make you try. That's why you have to hustle hard, grind hard, or you have to just abandon the thing. There is no other choice. There cannot be anything in between. That's why Mercury feels debilitated over here. The transit is intense, no doubt, but 10th house being 10th house, the zenith, the most important, here it's a very cold house. It is because it is Capricorn, the original 10th house. So this cold house needs you to be calculative. Try to do that. Try to give it a last try what you had been doing before Saturn goes into Revati this year itself from May month. So the theme will change. That's why the nakshatras are very important. Uttar Bhadrapada, give it a try. You had been doing for a long time. This is a try in the month of April that can give you better results or will give you better results from May onwards. So take care of that. Cancer ascendants, Cancer people, this is happening in your 9th house. Now Saturn has been in your 9th house for very long, and joining is Mars, the 5th Lord. Here Yogakara planet, the 10th Lord is also Mars, and Mercury, the 3rd Lord. Now again here is some efforts towards elevating your fortune, where obviously it's a friction. The planets are like, before I was, even when I started recording this video, there were so many disturbances happening with my electricity, with my networking things, and so many things. I told myself, this is how Mars Saturn is. Then the environment will show you that these are called nimitz in astrology. It will show you the signs, the omens are that, this is the energy of the planet. There is no point to quit over here. Yes, the 3rd Lord gets debilitated over here. This is very important. The debilitation of Mercury will make you take decisions if you are prudent enough with your Yogakara planet Mars over here, which is dur ka fayda. You have to look into a bird's eye view. You cannot think about the present gains and losses and get jittery every day. It will make you nervous. This kind of a transit will definitely make you nervous. If you have a spiritual sadhana, well and good, very good. Then you can even, you know, Mars and Saturn, how much these planets are very practical. They give great spiritual insights, great. Yes, there is problem in that, there is roughness in that, but it does. That is the ultimate. And see, if you're because I'm talking about the 3D level, but because the house is 9, 3D level, obviously you can try to, Mars will put it forward, because you know this is the last leg of Mars where Mars is fighting. Now Mars will go into Aries, your 10th house. You're waiting for that, I know that. So that's why this is the last try of a thing, whether it is any kind of try, whether with your boss, with your father, relationship, with foreign countries, striking a deal, going to a pilgrimage, you had been trying for a long time. It can be as simple as that. You had been trying for going to a pilgrimage, last moment till the tickets get cancelled, and or now the last moment you will be able to do it, because Saturn had been doing some pending jobs over here. That is how Saturn's nakshatra are. How good they are. Pushya, Anuradha, uttarabhadra makes you do again and again things, and in a thankless manner. The person is not even thanked for doing that thing. That is how Saturn's nakshatra are. They are pending karma nakshatras, and we have to finish these karmas. That is why this transit of Saturn is very important in Uttar Bhadrapada and Revati. Very, very important. Excellent. Both the nakshatras are excellent. There is no doubt about that. Excellent nakshatras. But yes, both have their own spiritual technique. To whatever mundane level you are leading a life, whatever 3D level, it will make you go spiritual. There is no alternative about it. So that you get a better picture, a greater view, wider view, that whatever you are doing today, whether it is as simple as going for a studies, for going for a travel, for pilgrimage purpose, or for business purpose, or whatever, the results will not come immediately. You have to put in the hard work that is involved in this process. Yes, Mars will propel the things as Saturn was holding it back. Mars and Mercury is a very catalytic kind of a combination. Mars is the ignition and Mercury is the catalyst over here. But be very careful, because these 3 planets are not comfortable in Pisces at all. The 3 planets. Saturn is Nichabhilashi, Mars is raring to go towards Aries, and Mercury is debilitated. So whatever decision you take, it has to be with the not knee-jerk. It has to be with keeping sanity in mind. And then this is a decision-making period. There is no doubt about it. And maybe this is the last try that you give for the matters that had been holding you back to go towards the 10th house, where the karma lies, where you will start a new beginning with Mars in Aries from the May month. So yes, you can feel, let it be a little faster. You may want to go a little faster. But lot of things lie ahead for Cancer ascendants. Please try your best and give it a good thought and then go for the try. Do not go headless. Sometimes Mercury debilitated, that is the issue. There are headless decisions made. Though Mercury have a good drishti on the 3rd house, still you must remember that. Okay, now comes Leo. Leo, this combination is happening in your 8th house. The 7th lord, obviously Saturn had been transiting 8th house for a long time. Now comes your 2nd and 11th money house lord, and also your yoga karak Mars. Now see, 8th house first and foremost is that internally there will be certain changes happening, because certain situations will show you and you have to take the path. That is the first thing. Decoding 8th house is not easy. Mars being there and Mercury being there can be some issues with your wealth. Issues in the thing that maybe you get a wealth, you get some kind of a legacy, or there is a talk of any kind of real estate thing or something, because it is a 4th lord also in the 8th house. So getting something like that. This is in the 3D mundane level I'm talking. Monetary things are very prominent when 8th house becomes so active. And Uttar Bhadrapada, because Saturn will slowly now move towards Revati from the month of May. Uttarabhadra is the last, the kind of Saturnic area, because the pending karmas are there. Certain issues that had been lingering will now come into the forefront, and you have to deal with it because Mars is propelling the thing. Saturn had been dealing with that, but the ways of Saturn are very slow. Now Mars wants to push it forward, because Mars journey now for Leo is becoming very interesting. Now, good or bad, I'll discuss later. From Aries to the Lagna, long time, believe me. It will start from this May 2026. Mars will reach Aries, and it will go to Leo and stay in Leo till June 2027. 12 months, 13 months of Mars journey to the brighter side of the horoscope, your yoga karak, you will be very busy. That is the first thing. Now, busy how? That is important. See, this Mercury can give you some expenses also. There may be certain expenses you need to do, maybe a change of place due to job, due to something, because Sun is exalted by then, by the mid of 14th of April. And as Mercury enters into this Pisces, Sun will be in Gandanta mode. So there is a change brewing up. The change is good for you. Don't be afraid of it. Don't rush it. You will do the right thing, believe me. Don't get afraid with the 3 planets in the 8th house. It will give you insights. And those insights you have to believe it. Pisces is a mystical sign. Yes, these 3 planets are not comfortable in Pisces. I understand that totally. Neither of the three planets, but we have, since these 3 energies are present, and Sun, your Lagna Lord, will be in exaltation, the energy will give you way to the pending jobs, certain things that you had been doing again and again, which is Saturn's job in Uttarabhadra. And whatever decision now you take a wider view. Mercury is a very self-centered planet. It's a child. It is about your money, whatever investment, whatever things that you draw at this point of time, or the money you gains from business. Gains from business can be good when 3 planets are in 8th house. Your partner's money can grow, 3 planets in the 8th house. Your partner can travel, foreign things, something else, where money is churned in. But do not waste it, do not squander it. Take it for think what the future lies, because that is debilitated Mercury. People take erratic decisions when Mercury is debilitated. But because Saturn and Mars is there with Mercury, I do not think the decisions will be erratic. It will have a bird's eye view towards the coming future, because as I'm telling you, from here onwards, the Leo horoscope is going towards a very fast forward motion. Though Jupiter will go into the 12th house, Mars will make it up with all the best houses in your enlightened side of the horoscope, from the 8th to the 9th to the Lagna. And imagine 13 months of Mars traveling this area where Mars is very comfortable. First in Aries, then the 10th house, 11th house, 12th house. When Mars goes, it gets a Neej Bhanga from Jupiter. And Mars in Cancer gives money. Then it comes into Leo. It's a fight, no doubt. It is a fight, but fight to achieve certain things which maybe due to Ashtam Shani, you had been seeing that it was pending for a long time. Now Saturn will try to, take it at a jet speed. When Saturn has blocked the way, like Iran with the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Mars wants to open that door and take you forward. So, this transit is with the Sun in exaltation, beginning with this solar ingress in Aries. I feel it will give you better days and much enthusiasm in your heart to continue with the later part of the year's journey from henceforth. So, best of luck, Leo. Virgo people, this combination of your Lagna Lord in Pisces with Saturn, the 5th Lord, and Mars, the 3rd Lord, and the 8th Lord in the 7th house, unfortunately is not very good, that you know. And especially for Virgo people, because Mars is the 8th lord, from this month of April to month of May, as Mars goes into Aries also, it is not looking very great, because Mercury is also traveling along with Mars. Mercury will also go into the 8th house. Now what is happening over here for you is that there is, because see, it is the 5th and the 8th lord with the Lagna lord. 5th lord is a good lord, Saturn. Mercury Lagna lord gets debilitated in the 7th house and Maran Karak Sthan. For Mars also it's a Maran Karak Sthan, where both the planets are very jittery. You can take sudden reactions at this point of time. I'm sorry to say, Virgo Lagna. See, now over here, if you have a different moon, you can go to the other sign, because for the Virgo people, you must understand from both the angles and what dasha you're running. It's a very difficult transit for you, unless and until you can settle down yourself, because Mercury debilitates in the 7th house and Maran Karak Sthan, double debilitation. This is for Mercury. It doesn't know what to do. It wants to experiment, because it's not in a sane state. It's the original calculative Virgo that you are. Yes, it is aspecting your Lagna, but understand Mars is also aspecting the Lagna. Saturn is also. It's a tug of war. You understand what I'm saying. It's not good. Every time you'll be pulled in different direction and thinking what to do and what not to do, and suddenly one day no, today I will do this. No, don't do that. Whatever you feel, you just lie low how much you can. There is no other much way. A little bit, yes, your business and all these things, especially in relationship area. Business, okay, I can understand you have to take certain decisions. Take it very prudently. Mercury in Maran Karak Sthan can go with wrong decisions also. That's why be very gentle and cautious in taking the decisions, because the 8th lord, wherever the 8th lord and the 3rd lord is trying, because Mars is that kind of a planet which wants you to take the thing, but 8th lord is can disrupt the things also very much. Take care of your health also, the lower part of your body. And because all the planets are aspecting the Lagna, suddenly you can get some, some kind of hurt on your forehead area. So that also you must be careful regarding the health part of it. So, I mean, I know that I wanted to say something better, but especially for Virgo people, 7th house is not a house for neither. I mean, Saturn, I know it's Digbala. Alone Saturn is good, but not definitely for Mars and Mercury. This is a Maran Karak Sthan. When you speak, better not to speak outside this. I mean, there are so many things I can say wrong. It can go wrong. It is negative. Yes, I am confirming that. So that's why I am telling you that if you have, if your whatever is your moon sign, you check from that angle also. If both are negative, then then it is very bad. But if the moon sign you have in a better placement, then it can be like goes 50-50 in both the ways. But Lagna is the main. Take care of your health, take care of your relationship, take care of your partnership. Business decisions can go wrong. Rather, do not take much decisions at this point of time. If some decision is pending, a little bit wait till Mercury covers this area and goes into the 8th and then to the 9th house of Taurus. Till then, because Mercury moves fast, at least this point of time in April, I don't think you are in a position to make great decisions. That is my point of view. Obviously, the dashas are main. If you have a good dasha, this can simply fizzle out and it will not be that, obviously, it is not destructive. But I don't like Mars at all, the 8th lord, being in Maran Karak Sthan in the 7th house with the Lagna lord. This is not a good combination. Maybe Saturn gives some slowness, that is better in this kind of a situation. So take care, Virgo people. Libra ascendants, the conjunction of Saturn and Mars with Mercury is in your 6th house. Now 6th house is obviously a very active house of Rogrin Shatru. Over here, the chances of having these planets and going through certain processes which needs that kind of an energy, like whether it's a competitive process or it's a loan asking process or some health thing that needs a surgery or anything, that will be solved, because that is how the sixth house works. It is not a sudden thing, definitely, because you know it. And fifth lord in the sixth house, fifth and fourth lord, and with the seventh lord Mars, and also obviously with Mercury, which is your 12th lord, here some expenses can happen, or you may go for taking a loan, which is like you have to pay back the expense, certain things like that, or definitely a change, or you're in the threshold of changing in your something in your professional environment, as Jupiter is also now gearing up to go towards your 10th house. So these things are there. Some kind of change of your location can happen, and this is also a time of the year where there are certain promotions or certain things, or change of branch for bank people, and these kind of things can definitely happen here. The best part is that these three planets are very competent enough to deal with the sixth house. That is the best part. So it will make you walk the path. And now whether you like it or not, your dasha is how is your dasha, but you have to walk this path and you have to solve the problem. Sixth house is not a problem lingering area or a sudden problem. You must have known that these kind of things will come up. As now in the month of April, the journey is showing itself. You had envisaged, now it is on your face. You have to take the decision. Maybe you were quite back and forth about it. Uttarabhadra Saturn will not immediately give the results. Now Mars, because Mars and Mercury, Mars is a fire, kind of a fiery planet. Mercury is a catalyst. So now these three planets together will make the thing happen in Uttar Bhadrapada, because for all the ascendants and for you also, Mars will now move into Aries later. So Mars is in a full throttle, though Saturn does not allow the full speed, but definitely it will do, because Saturn is a bit weak over here, considering Saturn is Neecha Bhilashi and Mars is now rearing up to go to Aries and make a new beginning. Mercury is also debilitated over here, though 6th house Mercury, do not take rash decisions. That is the only thing. Sometimes decision making can go wrong with Mercury debilitated, or if you are dealing with paper related things, suppose you are taking a loan, or suppose you are going for a transfer or changing a job, you are signing anything. These things, Mercury debilitation, if you become casual about it, it can go wrong. Though Mars Mercury, they are they make themselves work quite fast in the 6th house matters. If you are a student, sometimes at this point of time you can feel a little deviated, but have confidence in yourself, because why I am saying this, because as now Venus is aspecting the Lagna, but then Venus, your Lagna Lord, will go into, by the end of April, into the 8th house. So the competition or whatever, or if any kind of exam you are going through, you have to affirm yourself, because Mars and Saturn with Mercury can make you feel a little nervous. You can feel a little unsure, but you have to fight, and you will fight it out. So nonetheless, it's not a bad transit, and it will make the results happen. This 6th house, these three planets are very prominent. Saturn, as you know, it works with Rogrin Shatru in a slow manner. Mars, you know, it is the Karaka of the 6th house, and Mercury, its own house is only Virgo, the 6th house. So nonetheless, it's not a bad transit at all for Libra people. Hope you are able to cope through in whatever thing you are dealing with at this point of time. Scorpio, the 5th house is now loaded with your Lagna Lord Saturn, and Mercury, your 11th and 8th Lord. Now, first and foremost, knowing Scorpio people, there are two things. One is your education, your progeny, Second is obviously your wealth generation, I mean the investment point of view. The the intelligence can feel a little, rough, not rough, can feel a little slag, because fifth house is also the house of intelligence. Now Lagna Lord being there, it will help, but Saturn Mercury being there, and Mercury is debilitated over here. That is the reason, and because Jupiter is in the 8th, you can feel a bit unsure and unsettled at this point of time. This is the first thing. Your love matters or childbirth matters can be very difficult at this point of time. If there is a childbirth involved with a woman at this point of time, it should be utmost care. Love matters also can go for a toss. You can have some certain things regarding your progeny if your dasha is like that. If it's if the child is small, the things are not exaggerated. But if the child is like in the adolescence phase or something like that, there can be certain things which is like you have been trying again and again, things are not working out, and when Saturn now goes into Revati, you can just abandon, let it go off. These kind of things happen when such major planets comes up into uttarabhadra. Any kind of wrong investment at this point of time, because Lagna Lord is involved with Saturn and Mercury over here, can cost you dear. So at this point there should be no investment making, no decision making rather, whether real estate, which Scorpio people does a lot, whether investment into any other sectors of life also. If you are a student also, you can feel very confused at this point of time. The clarity, the kind of thing you want to do, it can feel very clumsy. That is the right thing. Though Sun will be from 14th of April onwards in the 6th house, you can feel competitive, but you will be a little unsure because given the condition of Mars with Saturn, that there's a fight, internal fight that is going on inside you, that like to go forth or to move in full speed, or to be checkered speed, or what, that will, you will not feel confident at this point of time. The Mars has to come into the 6th house, then you will feel confident about any kind of competition, any kind of whatever you are doing with your life. That confidence level at this point is low. But it is Mars Saturn Mercury in the 5th is not as ignition like Mars Rahu, and not aspecting the 10th house. Because all the planets are aspecting your 11th house, there can be some gains also, but not huge. But Lagna Lord and Mercury aspecting its own house with Saturn can give you some monetary relief also, or monetary gains also, if you are expecting anything like that at this point of time. So it is a 50-50 kind of a transit, not great obviously, but if you are a little conservative in your approach and you are not taking unnecessary steps towards I want to do this investment, I want to do this monetary thing, I have to go into this partnership, why my love life is failing like that, keep low at this point of time, and do not take unnecessary decisions at all. That is the first step. It will give you better times ahead when Jupiter comes into the 9th and Mars is also in Aries and then in Taurus aspecting the Lagna. So at least this April month you can give it a go for decision making things, and be cautious with your 5th house matters, your name, fame. People can make you feel guilty. Do not take the guilt, because if you're correct, why to gulp in that? That's not required. So have faith. Do not feel guilty. Do not go rough with your progeny. It will not help. Do not go rough with your love matters. It can just like that dissolve. If it dissolves also, you have nothing much to do. Education can feel a little burdened at this point of time. All these things can happen. So it is a 50-50 month. Go slow. It will be okay. There will be certain friction. Moving ahead can feel a little blocked to it. That is how Mars and Saturn works. Okay, Sagittarius, the 4th house is now having planets like Saturn, Mars and Mercury. Because Sun is in the 5th house, you can feel quite at this, not immediately, but from 14th of April, you can feel I am feeling great, intelligent wise. You know, your brain can function very well, but people will not support you. That is the thing. If they support, there will be certain conditions. 10th Lord Mercury, the Kendra Lord, 10th and 7th, coming with Saturn and Mars, you can feel you have to learn certain thing new in your work area, and at home you can devote time to that. Learning is very important part over here. Real estates and all these things are not favored. At least in the month of April, it is not favored. Yes, you will learn things definitely, as Mercury, all these 3 planets are aspecting the 10th house. The aspect is good. I mean, whatever you are in a mission to go forward, that way you will learn and move forward. But your internal, the people that you stay with, your people, your motherland, your mother, your goodness may not feel that great. That condition of these planets are like that. They are not at all favorable in the 4th house. Especially Mars is not at all favorable. It can give you undue tensions at the level of whether it's a real estate, whether it's your own understanding of things, household matters, your own people, your mother's health. Mars can trouble. Mars actually can trouble in the 4th house. Emotionally it can feel very lacking also at this point of time. It can feel that there is no much help. That can also feel. Jupiter is aspecting the Lagna, that is the saving grace, and Sun is in the 5th house. These 2 conditions are good. And my problem is with these 2 tough planets and Mercury adding as a catalyst, progressing the process in the 4th house. It doesn't feel very good from within. That is the first feeling. Mother's health or your health can also feel not that active. That can be one of the things. Expenses, if you are going for any investment in the real estate, immediately maybe you will not be able to invest, but you're thinking that how to accumulate the money. That thought can be very prominent at this point of time. All these things are there. If you are a student who is at that kind of a juncture where they are getting ready for exams and all, it can feel a bit confused with 4th house loading with 3 planets and Mercury getting debilitated. But wait, do not get too much eager or very devastated with that. You will be okay once Mars comes into Aries, and Sun will be in exaltation from 14th April onwards. Mercury will also come into Aries. You will feel better, and your intelligence power and your understanding power will sharpen from the month May onwards. So as of now, it is a okay kind of transit. Obviously, I don't like these kind of combinations in the 4th house, but do not rush into things. You will be okay. Nothing very bad about such kind of accumulation of planets in the 4th house, other than if you want to take a decision at this point of time. Decision should be not taken immediately, or you have to ask many people and then take a decision, because Mercury debilitated will keep you confused at this moment of time. So take care for that, Sagittarius. Capricorn ascendant, the conjunction of Mars, Saturn, Mercury is in the 3rd house. The 3rd house is good for these 3 planets actually. 11th Lord in the 3rd house, certain desires can get fulfilled with the Lagna Lord. So, and Mercury is obviously the 9th Lord. So some decisions definitely at this point of time, some long journeys, short journeys, changes is bound to happen in uttarabhadra. because Uttarabhadra is the last leg. When Saturn now moves into Revati, something will end, and Mars moves into Aries, something will begin. Now this is the last stage in the month of April, where certain things that you had been doing again and again, because all the Saturn nakshatras make us things do quite a number of time before giving the result. That is how Saturn works. So here the thing that you had been trying can reach some kind of a level where now you know, yes, this is the final moment, and now this decision is taken, and now I want to move forward with that. So that kind of a condition can definitely happen. A change of residence can also happen. Lagna Lord with the 4th Lord in the 3rd house. A new kind of energy is bound to come as Mars is gearing up to move to Aries in the next month. So all these conditions are happening, yes, 3rd house is good with all these 3 planets. Saturn does good in 3rd house. Yes, sometimes the decision can be a little slow and pending. Mercury, definitely it is the Gemini house, and the original 3rd house Mercury is good. Here it is debilitated, but still if you can hold your communication in a proper way. Sometimes Mercury debilitated, especially in the 3rd and 2nd house, whatever they want to say it is conveyed in a different way. Mars also gives the gusto to do things in the 3rd house. So see, unnecessarily I will not say it's a bad combination, or because for the 3rd house matters, it is not bad. Yes, one thing always one has to understand, when 2 great malefics like Saturn and Mars, natural malefics, it's your Lagna Lord, but still naturally it's a malefic planet, they come, they try to squeeze us in some form or the other. Now, whether we give in to that squeezing very easily, or we take it in a different way and carry out the things in a process, which we know slowly but steadily we reach the final culmination of the process, then definitely it helps. If it is quick spaced, then it can go definitely wrong, because all these 3 planets are after all in the sign of Pisces. Certain expenses regarding your wherever you stay, these things can happen. The Bhagya Dasha can feel a little slow at this point of time. Journeys, short and long distance, if you are making, you have to be careful with your documentation, because Mercury is again debilitated. But overall, if I see, this transit is a good transit, and Mars will be aspecting it is aspecting where Jupiter is, the 6th house, and also it is aspecting your 9th house and the 10th house. So these are okay, these are good aspects, nothing wrong with these things. I don't find anything much bad or skeptical about it, unless do not be very quick with any matter. But here it will help you take decision, change certain parameters of your life. And if you had been feeling, if not definitely, if you had been feeling stuck in certain areas, Mars can definitely put because it is fiery element, it pushes the thing ahead, which may had been delayed too much because of Saturn's presence in own nakshatra. It can. So Mars gives an impetus to that. Mercury is also a catalyst over here. Just be careful with your words, what you speak, because that is a problem with paperwork, with your words, with debilitated Mercury. And the vision should be clear towards what you are doing and where you are going towards. So that is the thing. Otherwise, it is this combination works well in the 3rd house. Best of luck. Aquarius, the 2nd house, Lagna Lord, the 10th Lord and the 5th Lord. Combination is not bad. Lagna Lord with Mars is the 10th Lord for you. Lagna Lord with the 10th Lord and the 5th Lord. Now see, here the thing is, there can be certain expenses that you have to incur. It may happen due to family reasons. You may see some, because Saturn is a slow planet. If you are looking for any kind of a upliftment, promotion or something, it can go for tug of war. Second house is also about your family. Problem with this combination is that there will be some kind of issues or language not spoken properly, because Mercury is also debilitated here with family members, immediate family members. That can well happen at this point of time. Certain things you say, that is just a slip of tongue. That has to be the most important caution. And whatever you spend for or however you are dealing with your money, that also needs to be checked or recalculated at this point of time. Because why? Uttarabhadra is a nakshatra in your second house, where Saturn had been making you do certain things again and again. Now Saturn, your Lagna Lord, will move into Pisces. Certain things are coming to an end. It can be as simple as your past job and a new job beginning. It can be like that. Mars is the 10th Lord. Mars from here will go into the 3rd house. You can go for a shift of place due to your job change. You have to give up on certain things when Lagna Lord goes into Pisces. It's a very spiritual combination. If you are not doing that, automatically it will be taken away. So this is the last leg where Saturn, Mars and Mercury comes in Uttarabhadra. Whatever you had been trying to do, whether with your money matters, whether with your job or profession, whether with your family members, whether with your hoarded wealth, whatever it is, you have to reach a conclusion over here and take a step forward and do it. Otherwise, when Saturn goes into Revati, it will be automatically changing. The situation will change, because something has to end with Saturn in Revati and Mars in Aries. Whatever small it is also. Ending means always doesn't mean a very big ending. But as for the next few months in this year, when Saturn will be in Revati, certain things has to go for a change, and certain abandonment issues. You may have to simply leave your home and go. You have to leave your family members and go for in search of your professional needs, your monetary needs or anything. Your eating habits may go for a change. The health check can go for a change in your eating habits. These are this is not an easy transit. Why? Because the second house housing two malefics, big malefics, is not easy. And also all these planets are aspecting your 8th house. So some kind of a subtle change regarding your dasha. The change can be big, the change can be life altering, the change can be subtle also, but you have to accept the change. In this last leg of Uttarabhadra, yes, Saturn will come back there, but later, that is in November, December, January, February. Last time Saturn will come into Uttarabhadra. So at this point of time, some decision is pending for you regarding all the matters that I have told, and the decision has to be taken slowly, steadily, carefully, taking things in mind. You cannot now, delay it. You cannot keep on delaying the things, because that's why I was talking about Saturn in coming to Revati will automatically make that change happen, or it will be taken away. Then you will not like it, because Mars will go into Aries and will start some kind of a new beginning for all the ascendants. That is because Mars transit is very, very, very highly vivid in this year. That I'll talk about later. So it is a transit which is very significant. I will not put good and bad over here. If you hold on to things, it will be taken away. If you speak wrong, you will be backfired. If over here you think about wealth and other things in a conservative manner, your family, you rectify your mistakes, you understand whoever mistake it is, I do not become too judgmental, then things will be better for you, and this transit can give you much better results also. So take care, Aquarius people. Pisces, on the Lagna, Saturn, Mercury and Mars, the 9th Lord on the Lagna. with the 7th Lord Mercury. Now here, first and foremost, there can be some shifting and adjusting with the partner. Maybe some travel is also involved, maybe some overseas decision is pending, maybe some job related things also creep up. Lot of things can happen. Some health rectification can also happen with Mars and Mercury on the Lagna. Your understanding of the situation can be a little distorted or blurred at this point of time, because Mercury is debilitated on the Lagna, but Mercury is Digbala on the Lagna. That is one good thing. So yes, when such big planets come, and now Saturn's movement, these three planets will have a tight conjunction in uttarabhadra. After the decision that you have been again and again needing to take, this is the final moment where the decision will be taken. About whom? About yourself, maybe about your partner, about the health of you both, and how things move ahead. All these things. And also because your Bhagya Lord and the 2nd Lord Mars is also involved, some monetary decisions can definitely happen at this point of time. Because after that, Saturn moves into Revati from this May month, and Mars goes into Aries. Revati is ending of certain things and Mars is beginning of certain things. So 101% for all the ascendants, something will end. For you, the ending you have to initiate, because it is on the Lagna. And if you do not initiate the changes or the endings or the abandonment, then it may be taken away from you. Spirituality and going slow with the flow is the best thing at this point of time. It is a lifetime decision. I mean, the decision that you take now, you had been trying to take it maybe for a long time. Saturn in Uttar Bhadrapada makes us go again and again and again, because that is how Saturn works. And Mars over here now, as it is coming with Saturn, it is trying to put forward full throttle, that move ahead, take the decision and go to the next chapter. So it can be about, it can be in your professional matter also, your health matters also, your marriage matters also, shifting anywhere, doing certain things regarding monetary, changes or whatever, some monetary other kind of way of thinking. all these things are, whatever it is, the decision making is yours now. You have to go through it. You bring it on the table. That is important. But definitely for Pisces, because it is such a big transit of Saturn on the Lagna, you're going through a lot of changes that I can see. And that happens when Saturn is on the Lagna. It makes you feel very weak and rather helpless, I can feel. And obviously in Pisces, we are helpless only. We are with God's grace. And how much you believe that Saturn, Mars is 3D planets or practical planets, believe me, they, after a lot of turmoil, obviously, they bring in spirituality in your life. Because after a lot of trying, with lot of efforts, when things do not go your way, then we understand that something is predestined and we then give it up. That is the ultimate surrender. And that is why Saturn, Mars, whenever I see maybe one Saturn in Aries or only Mars in Aries, I know spiritual growth, overall chart is there, is inevitable. With letting go and making it in tandem with the faith of giving it to the universe. This works in this kind of combination also. Whatever is happening on your Lagna, it is like you had been trying and doing and coming back and forth about certain things, and now you leave it up to the Almighty to decide what to happen, and then suddenly things, you will see, clicks. That is the magic of Pisces. So this was my analysis of this transit of the three planets conjunct in Uttar Bhadrapada, especially in Pisces. Next I'll come up with the chapter of Revati and Saturn going there, and obviously Mars coming into Aries in full force. It's something ending and beginning at the same point of time in the month of May. Till then, take care all of you. Bye bye. See you in the next video.